The sun had set and the moon had risen high in the sky. I was playing Fortnite, looking forward to a victory royale. As I landed on the island, I noticed that something was off. The map looked different, and the gameplay was slower than usual. I shrugged it off, thinking it must have been a glitch in the game. However, as I started to move through the battlefield, I heard strange noises coming from my headset. It sounded like whispers, but I couldn't make out what they were saying. Suddenly, my character froze in place, and I couldn't move. The whispers grew louder, and I could feel my heart racing in my chest. I tried to disconnect my headset, but it wouldn't budge. The whispers turned into a chilling laughter, and I heard footsteps approaching me. I turned around, but there was no one there. I was alone in the game, or so I thought. Suddenly, my screen turned black, and a message appeared. "You can't escape me." I tried to exit the game, but it wouldn't let me. I was trapped, and my only option was to keep playing. As I continued to move through the map, I saw things that I couldn't explain. Ghostly figures, floating objects, and strange symbols were everywhere. The gameplay became more intense, and the enemies were no longer human-like. They were monsters with glowing red eyes and razor-sharp teeth. I tried to fight them off, but my weapons were useless against them. As I approached the end of the game, I saw a figure standing in the distance. It was tall with long arms and legs, and its eyes were staring right at me. I tried to run, but my character wouldn't move. The figure started to approach me, and I could hear its bones cracking with every step. I closed my eyes, hoping that it was just a nightmare, but when I opened them again, I was in a dark room, with the figure standing right in front of me, and its mouth was opening wider and wider. I thought this was a game, but this was reality. I screamed, but no sound came out. I was trapped in the game with no way out. The figure started to reach towards me, and I felt its icy touch on my skin, and then everything went black. I woke up sweating and shaking. It was just a dream, or so I thought. But when I turned on my computer, I saw a message on the screen that read, "I'll be waiting for you in the game." This is a true story. It was a sunny day. Normal, I just got off the bus. I went inside and noticed that both of my parents weren't home. So I decided to play my favorite game, Fortnite. I loaded up the game and picked my favorite skin, Light Show. It cost me a bunch of V-Bucks, but it was worth it. I practically begged my mom for the skin, and she let me have it. I started the game, and the other strange thing was that none of my friends were online. My friends are always online after school. The only person online was a player I didn't recognize. His name was something along the line of "Kill Your Parents," which I thought was very weird. I didn't know anyone with this username, and I was so desperate, so I decided to invite him to play a match with me. The match went pretty well. I got off the bus and landed in Tilted Towers. I started out with the standard guns, but was soon on my way with a much better gun, as I one-shotted a few good players. They were good, but I was clearly better. I made my fort, and eventually it was me and that guy, Kill Your Parents. This was it. This win was going on my YouTube account for sure. I was destined to get Victory Royale. That'll teach my friends for not playing this game with me, I thought. But then, I encountered him. He wasn't looking at me, and I pulled out my best gun ready to shoot him. I shot him, but then, he didn't die. He didn't even take any damage. All that was there was a hyper-realistic bullet wound, right there where I shot him. I was so freaked out. He could have been using hack. There was no way. I shot him again, and the same thing happened. And then, he turned around and looked at me. That's when I saw his eyes. His eyes were black, with red pupils with blood coming out. I shot him again, and screamed as it didn't do anything. Every bullet wound caused another hyper-realistic wound. I was so scared, I screamed. And then he spoke in a creepy, deep voice. He sounded like a demon. He said,
"Kill your parents."
I screamed,
"Or I will kill yours."
I screamed again, and tried to turn off my PlayStation, but it didn't work. He spoke again,
"Kill your parents."
I unplugged the PlayStation, and he just laughed. And then he said my address. I said, "How did you get my address?" And he said only,
"Kill your parents, or you're next."
I shot him again, and again, and again, and again. But he just laughed. and then he shot my character and I died instantly. Though the gun he had only would have been able to do a little damage to me, and my gun would kill him instantly, but I was still dead, and the victory was his. My PlayStation turned off, and I was sitting there, dazed and confused. I write this from prison. The insanity of this Fortnite player kill your parents caused me to stab my parents over and over when they finally came home. Funny thing is, when I was in jail, I got a gift, a small package to me by an unknown person. The prison guard handed it to me through the cell. He said, "This is for you." And I took it, opened the package and screamed. The prison guard must have thought I was crazy, but inside the package was an action figure of the guy who made me kill my parents. This is a true story, and if you ever see a Fortnite player with the name Kill Your Parents, turn off the game now, and uninstall, and do not play again, or you will be next. So I just got home from school and my mom was working, so right off the bat, I knew what I was going to do. I was going to race to my PS4 to hop on some Fortnite, the game that was really popular during that time. I'm actually pretty good at it. I averaged around 20 kills per game and had 67 wins in total. So I hopped on a solos match, and for some reason this server was pretty weird. Everyone in the game was wearing the Cuddle Bear skin. Now a lot of people think that the Cuddle Bear skin is cute, but I just think it's creepy as fuck. Anyways, I ignored it and just started playing. I landed at the Tilted Towers and got 10 kills right off the bat, but I came across another weird thing about the server. Everyone's name in the game was "We eliminated you." I was pretty confused considering the fact that you can't take names that are taken on PlayStation, so this was pretty weird to me. I was thinking I came across a server full of hackers. Anyway, I ignored it and made it to top 3. There were 2 other guys having a gunfight, so my tactic was I would let them fight and greet the winner of the fight with my heavy shotgun. I started to notice then that it was words that were made out of wood in the game that spelled "We eliminated you." It was starting to get kind of creepy, but I ignored it, and as soon as one of the Cuddle Bears killed the other, I tried to push him and heavy shotgun him in the head, but for some reason he didn't take any damage. And now I knew he was a hacker, because a heavy shotgun to the head would kill him instantly. Anyways, he killed me, but then sent me a creepy text message with a picture attached to it. The message once again said, "Get ready for your final elimination." But as soon as I saw the picture, my heart dropped. The following picture I was sent was a picture of my house. This time, I was scared shitless and called the police ASAP, and they said they would be here as soon as possible. I looked out my windows, and there he was. I saw a guy in a Cuddle Bear mask staring into my soul. It must have been the lighting in my room that gave away my location or something, but my heart really dropped when I realized that I had forgot to lock the back door. I went downstairs to lock it, but it was too late. I saw a silhouette of a man standing there. Luckily, where I was at, I could see the person at the back door, but the person couldn't see me. They tried to turn the doorknob, and of course it opened. So quickly and quietly I ran up the stairs without making any noise, but I knew that this person already knew I was up there, so there was really no point in trying to be quiet. I made it up the stairs and looked back down, and there he was. He started slowly coming up the steps. I locked myself in my bedroom, and luckily, the neighbors next door who had just moved in 2 weeks prior were 2 brothers who were both police officers. I had their number in my phone, and I called them. They both came inside within 2 minutes with their guns blazing. At this point, they said that when they had tackled the guy, he was at my bedroom door trying to open it, but it was of course locked. They had tackled him and put him in handcuffs. They had also called for backup. At this point, within 10 minutes, there were about 15 police officers in my house. Of course I felt safe, so I opened the door and met the police officers and my neighbors. I told them everything that had happened and how I had met this random guy on Fortnite, who I didn't even know, who somehow found my address. I didn't know what it had to do with anything. I didn't know if this guy was a murderer. I didn't know if he was a hacker. I didn't know how he got my address. And I didn't know what he wanted with me. I didn't even know this guy. My neighbors told me that it was good that I called when I did, and I was lucky to be alive, because when they searched the guy after taking him back to the station, they found 2 large kitchen knives under the guy's costume. It's been a few months, and the guy has already been sentenced to life in prison, and I still play Fortnite, but every time I look at my application, I always think about that day.